Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. Hello there, it's Brad. The Empowerography Live Conference 2026 is happening live and in person for the first time here in Toronto in April of 2026. This is your chance to step fully into your power over 2.5 incredible days. You'll hear from 30 plus inspiring speakers, join hands-on workshops, and connect with women from around the world who are ready to grow, learn, and rise together. This isn't just an event. This is an experience that will leave you motivated, empowered, and ready to take action. Seats are limited, so head to my website and secure your spot today. All the information will be in the show notes, and we look forward to seeing you in April. Hello there, Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast, a platform that was created to help elevate and amplify the voices of women through sharing their stories. Today, my guest is Wendy Corner. She is a communication coach who works with authors and speakers. She takes entrepreneurs along the journey of expressing their wisdom on paper, from the idea to the finished manuscript, to publishing, to speaking about their wonderful work. Welcome, Wendy. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm doing very well. Thank you very much. How about you?
Excellent.
You're up for...
I am doing fantastic, and I am so excited to have you here. We've been planning this for a while, so it's nice to finally have you here and get ready to jump in and share about all the beautiful light you put out into the world through the work you do, the people you help, a bit about your story and your journey. So with that being said, let us jump right in. Mm-hmm. For you, Wendy, I'm curious, what was the catalyst moment or experience in your life when you realized that someone's entire destiny could change because of one sentence they wrote or spoke?
Oh, now that kind of takes me back to a very early memory that didn't surface for 50 years. Oh, yes. I'm talking a 2-year-old, and 2-year-olds don't generally remember much. Unless there's a significant emotional overlay. But the significant emotional overlay was such that I didn't want to address it. Got buried.
Okay.
The long and short of it is I had an abandonment experience when I was in hospital as a 2-year-old because parents were not allowed to stay in hospital with their children. So this early memory of the double doors closing with little 2-year-old on the side going, Mom. And I can appreciate as an adult, my mother on the other side being a complete and utter wreck, not being able to go to her baby.
Yeah.
That 2-year-old made the decision, the meaning out of that was that my voice didn't matter. The person that I really needed to come to me didn't come. So with but then I also saw my mother responding to lots of other people. So my voice didn't matter. Everybody else is done.
Oof.
Now, that was buried. But you were saying about how it colors the destiny. My choice of occupation was as a speech pathologist. Everybody else's voice mattered.
Yeah.
And I wasn't prepared to let other people feel that same way that I had as a 2-year-old. Not on my watch.
Right.
As I said, this didn't surface until after I hung up my boots as a speechy. So all of this was just,
the light bulbs.
Absolutely. And realizing how that early internal script, as I called it, I'd coloured lots of decisions. And I could absolutely advocate for my clients. I got the noses of a few consultants in my time. But I couldn't do it for myself. So there you go.
I'm amazed. That's a hell of a thing to unearth and uncover and then sit with and think about and reflect upon. Wow, that is powerful.
Yes. To be honest, and that's...
I'm sure.
Yeah.
So how was your relationship with your voice? How has it evolved from who you were as a child to the woman you are now today?
As a child, I was trying to force my way through. The background is I had a father who was a bit of a drama queen and could turn on a sixpence. So he was quite volatile in terms of his own verbal output. It was never violent, but the energy that came from him. He would blow, he would feel better, and the rest of us would be left reeling from the experience.
Yeah.
And he couldn't understand why we were all going. That was his pattern, and he did pretty much till the day he died at 95. Anyway, there's another story behind that. My mother, on the other hand, was completely the opposite. She didn't express emotion at all. So the stiff upper lip British, I had that beautiful role model in a very strong woman. So I oscillated between trying to get the attention and the approval of both of them. So I had an interesting pull me, push you, yo-yo type experience. And
pendulum back and forth, like from one end of the spectrum to the other.
Exactly. So where that left my voice was at times trying to push my way through, and at other times going, "You're not going there."
Yeah.
So yes, it was a bit of a, as you say, a pendulum experience.
Yeah. And so what was the moment then that you realized you were playing small with your voice, and what triggered you to expand?
The same coach that did the archaeology and uncovered that first internal script.
That deep dig.
Oh, it was. It was. And as I said, I had business coaches for 4 or 5 years, and they'd always been surface level, let's do the do, and nothing was working. And I'd invested quite a lot of money in that respect. But then when I worked with this lady, she went, hang on a minute, the do-do ain't going to do unless you be. And so she started doing the little bit of the digging. Once this little gem came to light, we were really working again, getting the speakers onto stages. By this time, I was working with TEDx. I was the head speaker coach at the University of Western Australia's group. And I was doing opportunities for people to have a 10-minute slot virtually once a month. And that was going reasonably well. But she said, "What? You're still putting other people out there, aren't you? When is your turn?" Oh, my word, that woman is very skilled. So that was when it was a case of, she said, "You're still saying my voice doesn't matter. Can we flip that script now to say everybody's voice matters, including mine?" Okay. So that is the regular one that I work with. Because the other one, because it was at least 50 plus years old, that was pretty well ingrained. So this has been a conscious and remains a conscious no, this one. Thank you.
That's one hell of a deep excavation. Man, talk about archaeological digs. Holy shit.
Absolutely. And
powerful, though.
Yeah, because as you said earlier on, the light bulbs were going on, that the decisions that I had made through life and the lens through which I looked at certain experiences, they were, see, my voice doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What's the point?
It kept getting reaffirmed.
Yes, exactly. Because that was the lens I was looking at, and it's what we focus on, we get more of. Yeah, that was the light bulb.
The explosion.
Yeah, it's not a light bulb. That was a seismic experience.
That was an earthquake.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What fear then tried hardest to convince you that your story didn't matter? And how did you finally come around to silencing that voice?
A mutual friend of ours, Heidi Dunstan, said to me once, was doing the Blue Talks session at Cambridge, and I froze on stage.
Wow.
It's that thing about exposing yourself.
Yeah.
I'm a professional voice user. I have been speaking to people for years, but this was different. And it's something that I've seen time and again with the TEDx speakers. They're absolutely fine professional voice users. They don't need my help. Thank you very much. And yet when it comes to the red circle, oh, this is different, isn't it? Yes, it is. I did exactly the same myself. And when we came off stage, because I had a second bite of the cherry, bless her, they let me go back again. She's unwiring me from all of this. And she said, "Is your itty bitty shitty committee working right now?" What? Forgive the Canadian accent, but I use that phrase. And when it's said and enunciated with a British accent, my itty bitty shitty committee, it really is a pattern interrupt to people because they get, "What did you just say?" The point is that I do have a super critical voice in my head.
As do all of us.
As do we all. So this is where that voice can come back in frequently. Hello, Cambridge last year. It's still a work in progress. So that's where I go, because she said, what would you say to one of your clients in the same situation? And let's reverse the roles.
Okay.
Another very skilled person at some archaeology. So yes, that is a regular. As I said, the neural groove for the first one was pretty deep. So that's where it's always a case of bringing it up to the surface, going, no, that was then, this is now. Intention. Yes.
Yes. So if you could sit face to face with the woman you were before you ever wrote your first meaningful piece, spoke your first meaningful talk, what would you tell her about the power she was about to step into?
She wouldn't believe me anyway. Right. Nonetheless, because I had a different identity at that point, and we both know that identity piece, what we say to ourselves about ourselves, is really critical here.
Yeah.
And we just explained all of that already. When I was asked to speak at a networking meeting just after we were allowed out to play after COVID, and the topic was your best year yet. And I explained how I came home from work one day to find my husband dead, which was a bit of a shock.
Yeah.
Really, as the first words out of my mouth were, oh, this really is the first day of the rest of my life.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So the expression, I was talking to this group about this because on the surface and at the time, it was numbingly shocking. But what's happened as a result of that has created my best life. Now, I would not, in a month of Sundays, ever wish that on anyone. When you're a widow at age 43, and even the government in the UK said I was too young, I was not eligible for a widow's pension.
Jesus.
You had to be 45 for that. Just come back for another 3 years, why don't you? What? Anyway, my point is that conversation I had, that sharing, and that was my first real sharing of that story in front of people. Somebody came up to me afterwards and said, because the phrase I'd used was, Jeff was actually sucking the life out of me because he had been mentally unwell for 15 of the 20 years we were married.
Right.
And it wasn't intentional on his part, obviously.
No.
It wasn't suicide, by the way. It was a massive heart attack. So the fact that I'd mentioned that, and I actually felt relief about his death, and then felt guilt about the relief about his death. You get the idea. So I was explaining this to this group of ladies, and this lady came up to me afterwards and said, you've given me the courage to walk away from my marriage.
Wow.
And I've gone, I'm not joining the dots here. So my point from this is that people will take out of what you say what they need to hear.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And then that story then became the chapter in my first contributory book, when a friend of mine who had, she signed up for it, wasn't able to fulfill the contract because she wasn't very well, handed me it and said, Wendy, you do it. My response was, I'm a speaker, not a writer. Her response, which is indelibly fixed in my brain, was, I don't care what you call yourself, just do it.
You don't have a choice. You're doing this.
And I'm forever grateful because that was my first published work. And since then,
it unlocked something within you.
It did. I had a wonderful quote from somebody on Sunday that don't start writing because once you do, it's like heroin. You need the next fix. You keep going. Yeah, I can recognize that one. Not that I've ever done heroin, but yes, the dopamine fix.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that, Wendy. What's the rawest, most honest lesson writing has taught you about yourself, would you say?
Okay, I run a promise to page session, which is capped at 4 people. We have the opportunity for month by month coming in, producing a bit of work. We critique it, and accountability, that mastermindy type thing.
Yeah.
And I was actually doing part of the group for myself, leading by example. And one of the people in the group said, they knew my background was as a speech pathology. She said, This is not you writing your clinical notes, Wendy. We need to have more of you. Raw and real emotion. Like my mother, I had boxed them all away. And at this point, I wouldn't say forced, but I was highly invited to unpack those boxes. The name of the book is From Hoarder to Hand Luggage. And let's just say it wasn't only the physical stuff that I'd been hoarding.
Man.
All those emotional things were still there, ready to be unpacked. And it was a return of the Kleenex. Yes, it was profound. It was getting all of that out, which now means that I can share so much of it from speaking from scars and not the wounds.
Yeah. Writing and speaking has excavated and uncovered so much for you.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And
like huge therapy.
Yes. And when I've got writers that I've worked with, we curated a book ourselves, and the number of people who've gone, oh, this is uncomfortable. Yeah, it is, isn't it? But by actually getting your message out on paper, then people have gone, well, I don't want to talk about it. That was tough. Yeah. And this is where I work, the speakers I work with who've got these tough origin stories. And look, I have a duty of care to you. I don't want you re-traumatizing yourself, because that's where, at the moment, you think you're going to go.
Yeah.
And it's that self-preservation thing. Not doing that again.
No way.
Yeah. But
there's so much growth in that. Holy shit.
And that's why I'm very keen with the speakers that we work through it from a languaging perspective. And if you remember when I was explaining my origin story, I said, imagine the 2-year-old.
Yeah.
I took myself out of that looking through my eyes. I still was able to, the emotion, but I didn't re-traumatize myself. And neither did I traumatize the audience.
Which is very important.
Yes.
And so in your work with authors and speakers, where do you see people hiding the most on the page, on the stage, or in their own minds? And why do you think that's where the hiding happens?
It's because of those internal scripts. Most of the people that I'm working with will come with procrastination, not knowing where to start. And when I've done a little bit of excavation, there's often been a situation in the past where they were shut down. On the speaking front, those of you guys who've grown up in North America and have had to do class presentations as part of your school life, a lot of people who class themselves as shy, introverted, have been shut down, teased, they froze, all of those wonderful things, because actually probably from something earlier at home. But if we've been told we're too much, we're too loud, we're too young, we're too this, we're too that, sits with you, as you've just experienced with me. And therefore, I don't want to risk rejection again.
That's a scary thing. A scary place.
It is. And we're hardwired not to do that because genetically, from an evolutionary perspective, if you said something that was different from the tribe, you were
excommunicated.
Which meant definite
death.
Exactly.
Yep.
So that's why everybody jokes about Seinfeld's comment about it's more stressful to speak in public than it is to die.
Yeah.
That's where it's from.
Wild. That's a crazy thought, that because I've read that and I've heard that many times, that so many people fear speaking publicly as opposed to dying. Yeah. That's fucking mind-blowing.
That's why. It's hardwired into our systems.
Yeah.
To keep in the tribe.
Yeah, for sure. So what would you say is the invisible story that people tell themselves that stops them from sharing the message that they're meant to deliver?
Again, it's reiterating a decision they've made based on an experience. Whether it's I'm too small, I'm too young, I'm too old, I'm too loud, I'm too diddly. It's all of those wonderful things that we tell ourselves. And sometimes, very often, I would say, those experiences that we've made the decision about, or somebody has said those words over us, and we've acknowledged it, we've agreed with it, those can happen very early on in life. I mean, as I said,
Yeah.
mine was 2, and I didn't actually remember that until 50 plus years later. Those are usually survival decisions. And therefore, those decisions stay with you until or unless you, 1, uncover them, 2, challenge them, and then give yourself something extra to say instead.
Yeah. It's so crazy that we carry around the weight of other people's shit.
Absolutely.
And we step into it and we own it. It's not even ours, but this is, as you said, the hardwire. The ego is there to keep us safe, to keep us protected, and all of these things. But it's fucking crazy. When you think about, I would hazard a guess to say that 95% of the stories that we carry around aren't even ours.
Exactly.
And they prevent us from doing so much, from stepping into our true power, our true authenticity, our true voices.
Exactly.
It's fucking crazy. I know for me as a kid, I was that kid that sat in the back of the class and please don't pick me, head down, don't pick me. I don't want to answer any questions. I don't want to have the light shone on me.
Yes.
And so many kids go through that. And that you brought up the fact that in North America, we had to give speeches in classes. I would be that kid that was trying to think of excuses to play hooky because I didn't want to stand up in front of the fucking class and share. I was scared shitless. And that carried with me. And even when did my brother get married? My brother got married. I was in my, I would say, 40s. And I remember he asked me to be his best man. So I had to get up in front of people. I'm telling you, from the moment he asked me, I'm in a panic response. I think, how the fuck am I going to do? I don't want to do this. How am I going to get out of this? How can I get out of doing this? I don't want to do it. Yeah. And that was the last time for me that I experienced that kind of fear or resistance to getting up in front of people and speaking. Once I did it and got the response back it changed everything. Now it's okay. This isn't so bad. And I want to help people do this. Everybody has a story, and your story deserves multiple stories, but everybody's stories deserve to be put out there for other people because your story could become someone's life raft. You could help someone. Your story could be someone's permission slip. You getting up and just sharing your story is a permission slip.
Yes. As you heard, this lady walked away from a narcissistic relationship.
It's
okay.
I'm sure you never in a million years expected anything like that. You were just up there sharing your story. Yeah. It's fucking wild, the power that storytelling has.
That's it. Because if somebody had said to this lady, come on, really? You would have gone into
She would have shrunk.
Exactly. And now, because of the power of story, and I mean, we all know that stories have been what has traditionally been passed down. We're talking about the evolutionary perspective.
Yeah.
The tribal mores were passed down through stories. And, okay, put it this way. You sit around a bonfire. How long before somebody starts telling a story?
Not even 5 minutes.
No, exactly.
And especially when drink is flowing.
And you're out in the woods and there are shadows and next thing the ghost stories are coming out. All these wonderful stories that come out because, as I said, it's hardwired into us. It's a story.
It's how we relate. It's how we connect with one another.
Exactly. And that's how
I love it.
We pass on. Think of childhood. You have stories, and all of those stories carry something underneath them.
Yeah,
it's a moral to the tale.
Yes.
And originally, Disney had very clear black and white things. You knew where you stood. You had that story that shared the important things in life.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the fabric of society. I believe it is so integral and important. It's been it's been passed down from generation to generation. It's how legends were formed. It's how all of it. It's everything.
That was all the pre-writing.
Yeah.
The whole of the tribal ideas were passed down through stories.
Yep, absolutely.
Around food.
Yes.
Fire, food, and stories.
Yes, exactly. When someone tells you, I don't know how or where to start, what do you hear that is really lying underneath that?
I'm risking rejection. I don't want to even start because once I start, then somebody can come in and go, oh no. And that's a wonderful as I said to you earlier, procrastination, fear of starting, don't know where we're going,
All the things.
all the things. And it's pretty much that root fear of rejection. I've been shut down once, I don't want to do it again. I actually did a piece on YouTube just this week that very often that's what stalls us right from the start. We'll find excuses to do other things.
Other than the thing.
I'll put my hand up to this. I do not like cleaning. When I find myself cleaning cupboards, that's a wake-up call. Wendy, what are you avoiding? You know, all the busy work that I'm busy.
Yeah.
But is it actually moving things forward? Maybe not. Yeah.
I love it. What have you learned about courage from watching people bring their deepest truth to life on stage or on paper?
This is it, because when before I begin working with people, I'll sort of ask them, why this? There are four main questions I ask them. Why this message? Why this audience? Why now? Why you? We do that as a snapshot. And as I said, we'll dig in a little deeper as to what the potential roadblocks are. And then when it comes to I've got my book in print, I'm on stage and it's been recorded, I remind them where we started. And particularly the speakers, I will encourage them to regularly record themselves and put it up on YouTube. It can be unlisted. It doesn't have to be published.
Yep.
But you can then track your own progress. I will admit that my YouTube has some very interesting early communications. But I leave them up there so people can actually see my progress. I am still a work in progress and will ever be so.
Yes, we all.
The danger is when we think we've made it.
Very true. You witness people birth books, messages, and movements. What part of that process reveals who they truly are more than anything else? Always back to this.
Always back to the stories we tell ourselves. Because when you can make that shift, I'm talking to myself, not just to other clients. When you make that shift yourself, suddenly it's like dropping over that first domino. And I'm sure you've seen that meme of you. It only takes a little bit of getting over the inertia and then boop, 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 and next thing you've got a wonderful spiral of all these dominoes going down. Just the courage. Just the courage.
Just only courage.
Hate that
just
word.
Courage.
Just.
Yeah.
Courage to do one thing. That first step. And then when you see the momentum, I can do that. What else can I do? What's next?
Yeah. That wasn't so tough. Once you get past the
fear.
fear.
It was very tough, but
yes,
once I actually got down to doing it. How long did it take to write your book, Wendy? A lifetime? Mechanically, 6 months, because I had to go through those emotions first. Interestingly, the first contributory chapter took 20 minutes, start to finish.
Holy shit.
Just
pour it out of you.
Yeah, because that was the story I was telling about going home to find Jeff Dale.
Right.
It only had one minor tweak that the lady who originally said, do it. I shared it with her as you want. Swap that paragraph and you're good. And it was.
Wow. Beautiful. When someone finally steps into their voice, what shifts first? Their body, their language, or their energy?
I would say the energy, because from the energy, then everything else follows.
The dominoes.
Exactly. But you can very quickly see that people go, oh, and they'll sit up straight. They'll hold themselves differently. The language is very important because you can hear the shift in people's verbals out loud, which will mirror, hopefully, what's been going on inside. And when I'm working with people in conversations, I'll go, can I just reflect what you've said to me? Is that what you meant? That delightful word, just. I'm absolutely fine when it's restricting time. I've just walked through the door.
Yeah.
But I'm just a speaker? Are you?
No.
I'm just a bookkeeper? Really?
Yeah, for sure. What has watching people find their voice taught you about the human condition?
Oh, I've just gone goosey at the memory of it. My background, as I said to you earlier, is in speech pathology. My specialism was working with people with intellectual difficulty, with or without autism, many of whom were nonverbal. When you see the carers actually understand their communication, and you see them go, finally, I can't tell you the buzz it gives you.
Yeah.
Well, it certainly gave me. Just to see that people understand me. I'm seen, I'm heard.
And that is the basic want and need of every single human on the planet.
Exactly.
What a powerful and beautiful thing to witness.
Oh, it is.
In your opinion, what is the cost emotionally, spiritually, collectively of someone never telling their story that they were born to share?
I was giving that some thought last night. Imagine a big mosaic. All of us have a little tile to put in this big picture. If it's not there, there's a gap. It's like when somebody smiles and they've lost a tooth. It's obvious immediately that something's missing.
Yes.
And that was the image I got when I was reading that question from you yesterday. That you can have this beautiful mosaic of human history, but there's a hole there. And your story should be, come on, let's get to it.
That's an incredibly powerful visual, Wendy. Thank you for that. I love that. That's amazing. Beautiful.
Like I said, I sat with it yesterday and went, okay.
What is the one truth about finding your voice that most people don't discover until they're deep into the process?
Oh, no, it's a tricky one because the most obvious thing is once you change your mindset, once you shift those internal scripts, then as I said, everything else follows along. But initially, people are reluctant to look at that because like my original business coach, we do the do. And when the do don't, that's when we have to go a little deeper. And with anybody that I'm working with, I will dig deep. I have to establish rapport with them first.
Yes, of course.
However, once that is established, and I worked clinically with about 5,000 individuals, plus their ecosystems around them, and I can point to one person that I didn't create rapport with, I didn't achieve rapport with, which I think is actually fairly impressive. I
would say so. Out of 5,000 people, that's pretty damn impressive indeed.
Yeah, I mean, over 30 years, but here we go. Now, the point I'm making here is that when you establish trust with someone, then you can go, can we dig a little deeper into this? If you go straight in, you're going to get the barriers up.
Yeah.
So this is where you tell the stories and then you gradually, because
the relatability.
Yes, exactly. And that's when you can make the connection. And then you go, I'm wondering, cast your mind back. This procrastination, when did it first start? When was the first memory that you've got of going, I'm doing that? Because very often as a 2-year-old, we're absolutely on it. Me do it.
Oh, yeah.
Those of you who've had 2-year-olds will remember that one. The point being so that when people will trust the process. I hate that phrase, but it's actually true. It's actually true. When people will trust that I know what I'm doing on this one, that come with me, then the deeper we go into that, what the do suddenly does instead of don't.
Yeah. Love it. How do you help someone transform pain they've lived through into wisdom others can live by without losing?
That takes me back to what I was saying about the duty of care, how we language it to other people. Because if you get stuck in the miry mud of your own emotions, if you're stuck there, believe me, the audience will be as well.
Right.
And they've paid good money or time to listen to you, either if you're speaking out loud or reading your book. They don't want to be seeing that. It's the Whiffen principle. What's in it for me? If you can give your audience something tangible, some wisdom that you experienced because you've gone through the miry mud yourself, but you've come out the other side. And it's that wisdom that they want to hear. Yes, you take them into the mud temporarily. You can point out where the mud is. This is what I've found as a result of coming out of the mud.
Just how I got clean.
Exactly. Exactly. We're back to that heroin again, aren't we?
Yes. Keeps popping up. Keeps coming back.
So yeah, you're absolutely right. You come clean. You come out of the mud. This is what I've learned from it. And this is what I think would help you. Because very often the person you're speaking to is you when you were going through the mud. And you desperately wanted somebody to be able to say to you, this is the way out.
Yeah. Yeah. To shine that light for sure. What is it, do you think, that scares people more? Telling the truth, being fully seen, or being fully heard? And why?
Is there a difference? For me, the thing is that being seen, being heard, telling the truth. If you're not telling the truth, then put it this way. I say to speakers, if this doesn't match that, these will give you away. Your non-verbals will give the clue that you don't actually believe what you're saying. So if you're not telling the truth, let me give you an example. I was watching a Facebook live that somebody was doing to encourage people. She was inviting them to do a workshop that she was running. And I said to her afterwards, what was your traction on that? Not a thing. Nothing. Not a single contact. I went, oh, okay. Did you really believe what you were saying? Well, go for the jugular, she said. Why don't you? And I said, go back and look at it, because all the way through there were micro shakes of your head. With my training, I picked that up at a conscious level. But other people would have gone, there's something I don't trust about her. It would have been at that unconscious level that she's saying no.
Yeah.
So this is why I'm saying telling the truth, matching what you're saying to yourself with what comes out of your mouth is crucial, because those micro movements in your facial expression, your hands, will give you away. And that's where people don't connect with you.
Very interesting. Thank you for sharing that. I love that.
You're welcome.
What do you think makes a message unforgettable? Not in marketing terms, but in human soul level terms.
It's that vulnerability thing. How much am I prepared?
The V word.
How much am I prepared to bear myself out? Because as I said to you, the TEDx speakers, they were professional voice users. They could command the High Court. They could command a lecture theatre full of students. This was a different matter. So it's that vulnerability piece. And because most of the authors I work with are entrepreneurs who are writing business books, they go, well, what about the do? I don't share me. And we go, do you know what? You do really. Because people buy your why before they buy your what. Once you have explained why this is important, it was important for you because you discovered a gap in the market. And does that sound like a gap that you're experiencing at the moment? Is that the mud you're in? But you will only get the solution through the door by the story.
Yeah, for sure. Vulnerability creates that connection. It lets people know that they're not alone, that someone else is experiencing something similar.
Yes.
And which in turn creates that connection.
Yeah. I can't remember if I heard this or whether this actually just came out of my own mouth. Vulnerability is the currency of connection.
There you go. That's powerful. Love it.
I would like to think it was original. I'm not sure it was.
We'll go with it's original. What's a question you wish every author or speaker would ask themselves before ever writing a word or stepping on a stage?
My 4 questions. Why this message? Why you? Why this audience? Why now? In no particular order. The point that I'm making is the timing can be significant. Do you remember back in 2020, that word pivot?
Yes. Drove me nuts. I hated that word.
If we both had $1 for every time we'd heard that, we'd be millions by now. Billionaires even. Yes. My point is that your message can be absolutely time sensitive. Audience, that's critical. And your reason for doing it. Why you? Because an awful lot of people say to me, I'm speaking about the same thing as 101 other people. Who's going to listen to me? And that's where we go, the 101 other people don't have your story.
That's right.
It's your story that you share that's going to connect with the right audience at the right time because it's you.
No one else is you.
Exactly.
No one else has your unique experience.
Yeah.
What do you believe is the truest measure of someone owning their message? Not the book sales, not the applause, but deeper.
Do I love myself? Have I connected with my own self? That vulnerability piece goes inwards as well as outwards. As remember, it's what we say to ourselves.
The stories we tell ourselves.
It keeps coming back to that. And if your itty bitty committee is as rampant as so many of us, that committee working, that's where it stops us from doing anything. And that's where you get the paralysis, the procrastination, would you shut up, please?
Yeah. We don't have space for you in my head.
Exactly.
There's no more room.
Exactly.
What do you believe happens in the world when a woman finally claims the full power of her voice without apology?
Oh, now that's significant, those last two words, without apology. Back to those words that I keep telling you that I'm on a mission to work on. The number of people that I reach out to, and they say, oh, sorry, I didn't pick up your message at the time. Did I say it was time sensitive? Am I expecting a return immediately? No, I'm not. But that's what most of us have been conditioned to experience, that particularly women, and thank you for being a man bringing this to light, that we've been conditioned that we are the servants. We are the homemakers, and therefore we don't have so much value, which is why I really am at this, I'm just a stay-at-home mum. When I've heard people say that, my response is, you in charge of the household budget? Yes. Do you do any teaching with homework and stuff? Yes. Okay, so we've got Director of Home Affairs. We're educator of the next generation. We're CFO of the family. And we keep going. Project management. Do you have everybody's calendars and things organised? Your taxi? And that's when they go, oh. So I said, can we lose the just, please? It's the critical thing about the language again.
You speaking about this in particular reminds me, I interviewed a woman a while back, and she helps women who are later on in their careers, I would say 50s and onward. And she was saying, you wouldn't believe the amount of women that say, I don't have any skills. I was just a stay-at-home mom and all of these things. Like, but you got the kids to school. You also went on field trips with the kids. You do this, you do. So your skill sets are huge. You're just downplaying and demeaning yourself, or not seeing the other side or all of the other things you bring to the world through all of the experience you've had as a mother, as a wife, as all of these different things. It's not you're just a wife. It's not you're just a mother. That just word again, but it's sad that so many women don't see the value. And I know it comes from conditioning. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
I was talking to a lady the other day they've swapped roles. He is at home looking after the children, and she's the breadwinner. So I said to her, how does he feel about being the person staying at home and not being the one who's providing for the family? And she said, he's a little reticent at times. And I go, so what is his title? She said, what? I said, how does he describe himself? And I explained that my husband, when he was mentally unwell, we gave him the title of Director of Home Affairs. He did the shopping. He did some of the cleaning. We both shared the cooking. I was the one who was out at work because he was retired on ill health grounds. But Director of Home Affairs gave him a sense of purpose.
Yeah, for sure.
And forgive me, the male brain is actually designed and conditioned to be the breadwinner, to be the provider.
Yes.
So if you're in that situation, how are you describing it? It's back to those language things again, and now our internal script.
Yeah, we need to shift that perspective because the world's changing, things have changed, and it doesn't have to be the way that conditioning has brought us up to be, taught us to be.
Yes.
It can be the other way around, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's about wrapping your head around and shifting the lens that you're looking at it through, the perspective, all the language, all of it. Yes. It's a huge shift.
It is.
And again, back to the stories that we tell ourselves.
When I was growing up, and I think I've got a few years on you, people used to go to school, not university. They would get a job. They would stay in the same job for 40 plus years. They would get their gold watch and they'd retire and they'd die within a couple of years. And that was the expectation. And that was the basis that the National Health Service in the UK was established, because we wouldn't need a lot of long-term care because people die very quickly.
Yes.
But now, suddenly, people can live 30 years beyond retirement. The dear old NHS is croaking and creaking, but that's another story entirely.
Yes, that's another podcast episode.
Oh, yes.
If your voice had one final mission, one final act of service, one final message, what would it be?
How do you speak to yourself? Check in. Do you actually love yourself? Do you care for yourself? Talking to me as well. Because if you don't, you can't give from an empty cup. It's back to that classic example of the oxygen mask. Again, conditioning has knocked that out of many of us. But mercifully, a lot of us now have had the experience of being on an aeroplane and hearing that little wonderful tale. So when you do share that, it's, oh, okay. There's no point in putting the mask on your kids, because if you don't survive, who's going to look after them anyway?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you want them to be orphans? And that's when because you take it to the nth degree and they'll go,
yeah, of course.
Oh,
Light bulb.
Yeah, exactly.
If you could speak one sentence into the heart of every woman who doubts her story, what would you tell her?
That's a good one. You have a reason to be here. You have a purpose. I'd love you to really dig into that, appreciate it, and go with it. Tell yourself that you have a reason, a purpose, and then go fulfill it.
Love that. What does freedom mean to you, Wendy, at the very deepest level, beyond money, status, recognition?
It's a good question, that one, because here I am running around the world with only 20 kilos. That's 34 pounds to the Americans. I don't have a home. I am officially of no fixed abode. I have an official residence. Shh, don't tell the government. My point is that I have been on this journey of letting physical stuff go, but the most important stuff I have been letting go back to those internal scripts again, which is why the book series is called Letting Go, Living Lighter, because people have said to me, where is home? And I've gone, here. I am now in the position where I don't have any physical ties. I don't have a mortgage. Don't have a house. I don't have dependents, which at 60 can be a little, would be nice to have another one. But the point is, at the moment, I don't have any ties. So this exploration of me in the world, letting go of physical stuff, that first book was called From Hoarder to Hand Luggage for a reason. But it wasn't only, as I said to you earlier, it wasn't only the physical stuff I am letting go of, it was also the emotional stuff. And also the spiritual stuff. Because one of the books in the series is, what have I absorbed by osmosis? What is my conditioning? What do I actually believe? Me, for me. And that's going to be an invitation for people to check in with themselves.
Reflection, huge.
Absolutely. All of my books have a reflective element to it.
Love it. How do you define success?
I would again say it's how I relate to myself. Because I had I recorded a podcast, which is going up this very week, that success is where preparation meets opportunity, which is lovely on the do level. This is a business coach. Absolutely do. I'd like to take it down to being, and success for me is looking at how am I speaking to myself? Am I speaking words of encouragement? Am I speaking words of life? Because if I hold those, what comes out of here is the overflow of the heart. And the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks.
I love it. What does the word empowerment mean to you?
Again, it's back to those internal scripts. What is it that I'm saying to myself? Am I giving myself empowering ideas? Or is the itty-bitty shitty committee going and sucking the life out?
I love it. Okay, we're going to jump into a little rapid fire section. So the next grouping of questions just be 1, 2, 3 word answer type thing, okay? What is your favorite place on earth?
I don't have a favorite place. Wherever I happen to be at the time, wherever I lay my hat, that's my home.
Yep. Okay. If you could teach the world one thing, what would it be?
To love yourself.
I
keep getting back to that.
Yes, self-love. It's everything. We are the foundation for everything. It is so important. Yes. What is one of your guilty pleasures?
I don't feel guilty about any of my pleasures. I mean, I suppose Some people will talk about chocolate. I go for the 100% cacao nips.
All right. One word that sums up your mindset.
I'm heading for abundant.
One book that changed your life.
And continues to every day, the Bible.
What is one word that defines the woman you are becoming?
I'm going with abundant as well.
Excellent. That concludes our rapid fire section. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. I created a bonus question that I did not send you ahead of time.
Oh, okay.
What is one of the best pieces of advice you've ever received, and who gave it to you?
I think it would be the fact that you can walk away from your conditioning, really focusing on what you're telling. Is it still serving you? Who spoke that to me? I'm not quoting it. My beautiful coach, Jenny Vaz in Singapore, who did the archaeology with me. Was the other thing, one of her favourite phrases was, stop being so bloody British. That's we don't emote. We would modesty at all times, moderation at all times.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. If you were to introduce yourself to me without mentioning your occupation, where you're from, your nationality, your religion, all of the day-to-day bullshit markers that we use, how would you introduce yourself to me?
So I think we're looking at character traits, are we? Okay. Quirky, energetic, positive for the most part, encouraging. I've had that said to me a number of times. I'm female. Oh, no, we're not describing that, are we? That's probably where I will go to.
All right. If you could step into my shoes, what question would you have asked yourself that I didn't ask you?
Yes, I was trying to work that one out too. Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
Okay, go ahead.
I have no idea. And that's, for me, a great step forward. Because if you had asked me, even 12 months ago, where are you going to settle? I was going through the mental ringer. Where do I go after Mexico? Do I go back to Kuala Lumpur? Do I stay there? Because I knew I was going to publish the book, first solo book from Kuala Lumpur. Or am I staying there for a whole year? Because if I commit to doing that, I can get a cheaper rental. And those ducks that you like to have in a row, again, something that my dear friend Jenny said to me was, they're never going to stay there. Forget it. Because by the time you've got the first two, all the others have wandered off. So I am now in a position where I don't know where I'm going to be in 5 years. I don't know. And I don't mind. It's not freaking me out.
And that's a beautiful place to be.
A very big step.
Yeah.
Love
it. If you had the opportunity to sit down and have a 1 hour conversation with one woman, any woman in the world, who would it be and why?
Does it have to be contemporary?
Yep.
Okay. What I was thinking about when I looked at this yesterday was, in my lineage, there was a suffragette. I grew up with my mother saying, women died to get you the vote. Jolly well vote. Now, in the UK, voting is optional. In Australia, it's not. It's mandatory in Australia. If you don't vote, you get fined $100. I would love to sit down with my, whichever generation it was, grandmother, and go, what was it like living at a time where you didn't have the vote? You felt very much confined, because that was the era that women were not allowed to go to university until Cambridge actually put their foot down and went, no, we will have a ladies' college. That was the era where George Eliot put out her books under a nom de plume, a male nom de plume. So that's after that. But my point is, what was it like living in a time where you genuinely didn't have a voice? Because that's going to give me a real contrast and a real sense of, oh, golly, I'm so grateful to be living in the era I am now. And taking that strength of character that she had to move forward.
Beautiful. That would be an incredible conversation.
Wouldn't it just? Wouldn't it just?
If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
She wouldn't listen. Just seriously, do it.
All right.
Me do it.
All right.
Me do it. But I would say, even from 3 years ago, just take the step. As my dear friend said, I don't care what you do, what you call yourself, just do it. It's that initial domino. Once you've got over that inertia, it's scary. Yes, it is, because you've never done it before. But you're not being on show for other people now. You're not trying to get your mum's attention. You're not trying to avoid your father's attention. Do it for you.
Powerful words. Do it for you. Everyone could take those words. Lastly, if you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, your corner of the world, your tribe, your people, what would that last 30 seconds sound like? What words of wisdom would you impart?
What are you thinking about yourself? What are you saying to yourself? Is it encouraging? Is it powerful? Don't let the itty bitty shitty committee win.
Beautifully said. Wonderful way to end the interview. Wendy, thank you so much for taking and making the time to be here with me today, for sharing your journey, your story, and the beautiful light you put out into the world through the work you do. It has been an absolute honor and pleasure to have you on the show. I am so grateful to call you a friend and to have you as a member of the Empowerography community. Thank you so much for showing up and shining today.
Thank you. Thank you. I know it's been a long time coming, but this was so worth it. Thank you, Brad.
My pleasure and my honor. Thank you. Once again, my name is Brad Welsh, host of your Empowerography podcast, a platform that was created to help elevate and amplify the voices of women through sharing their stories. Today, my guest has been Wendy Corner. She is a communication coach who works with authors and speakers and takes entrepreneurs along their journey of expressing their wisdom on paper, from the idea to the finished manuscript, to publishing, to speaking about their wonderful work. Thank you so much, Wendy. Have a beautiful rest of your day.
You too.
Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at visuphoria.ca, follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast, and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.